Heavily scarred by centuries of constant war, Laracus Donato has earned the right to command his company a dozen times over. He coordinates 100 of the Imperium's finest warriors, even as he fells the champions and tyrants of the enemy with Combi Melta and Power Fist. Hello my friends, my name is Max, and today we are building one of these Space Marine Heroes Series 2, namely Brother Captain Donato. Let's take a look what comes in the box with our Brother Captain. First of all, we have this nice card explaining who this guy is, Brother Captain Donato. We have instruction set, fairly straightforward as we have figured out in the unboxing video. And we have the sprue. Of course, there is also a piece of information about Japanese stores where you can purchase Warhammer. We are not in Japan though, so this is a bit useless for us. But yeah, this is our lad, and as you can see, he has a very, very fancy base. This miniature was released before Primaris Terminators were introduced, so it is sitting kinda in between size-wise. It is a bit larger than old Terminators and less hunched, but it is a bit shorter than the new Terminators. And we will build this mini and compare it to some Terminators in the end of the video. One more piece of trivia about this mini includes that this Terminator Captain is one of the rarest Terminator captains you can get right now. And it will be even more rare because after December 22nd, you will not be able to order Space Marine Heroes Series 3 Remake. Games Workshop is making a new kit with all 10 minis, so you can buy it until the 22nd of December 2024. And after that, I'm pretty sure these minis are gonna be almost impossible to get. They cost a small fortune on eBay, and there are not a lot of offers, because this is 2018. Anyways, let's start building this guy. So these instructions are really funny. It's hard to say where do you start here, but we start with the torso, as always, beats 1 and 2. This is beat number 1. And this is bit number 2. These Terminator miniatures are push feet, and that means that you might have to shorten some of the pins in order to make this whole thing work. In this case, I'm pretty sure we will have to do that, because otherwise we will end up in nasty gaps between the mini parts. I will go for shortening this pin, and probably a little bit these ones. Since I'm gluing the mini anyway, I don't really care that much if I have to be like extremely careful with the pins or not. Just gonna go ahead and put glue everywhere. And this is our result so far. Next, let's assemble his arms. Let's start with the left one, made of beat 6 and 7. This is bit number 6, and this is bit number 7. There is also a pin on this bit 7, which I intend to shorten, because if I don't do that, pretty confident it will be too long. So the bit 7 is supposed to be sitting over here, along these lines, and I am going to glue it. Fairly straightforward task. You just put some glue here. That should be enough. And that is our left arm. Let's do the same for the right one. Beats 4 and 5. This is beat number 4, and this is beat number 5. Both parts of the Combi Melta would require some drilling, and I'm gonna do just that. The drilling was success. We have 2 holes here, and now we need to combine these 2 bits into one combi weapon. I'm gonna shorten the pin and put some glue on this mini. The glue should go here. And this is my left hand with the Combi Melta, looking incredibly cool. Now let's attach the back of the body to the mini. Bit number 3. This is bit number 3. Let's see how bit number 3 should be sitting on the torso. It should be somewhat like this. It might require partial assembly. In this case, you probably want to attach the left hand before you attach the cape. I myself don't care that much about partial assembly, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this bit directly. And for that, I will shorten slightly these two pins. And I am going to put some glue around the holes and slightly over here. Here we go. This is my torso assembled. Now let's put the sword number 9. That should be on his belt. This is sword number 9. This is how you know this is an older mini, because these kind of swords were very common for previous generation of Terminators. This is my sword cleaned up. Should be attached over here. There is a hole over here that it should go into. And it should be like this. I'm not gonna shorten this pin because this hole goes all the way through the front part. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue over here around. So the pin has some extra help with the glue. But in this case, the whole pin should be enough. And this is how the sword sits in place. Now let's start attaching hands. I suggest we start with this one, the left one. The left is a bit funny because this pin is actually for shoulder blades and his arm should be assembled like this. So it is sitting on this part, on the lower part, because of the shape of the shoulder over here. And that is why, since I don't know how exactly the shoulder should be sitting, I'm just gonna put glue over here on this bit. And I probably will put some glue over here too, just in case. Because it's supposed to touch the torso. And this is how my left hand is sitting. Looking very, very good. Same goes for the right hand. It is supposed to be in this kind of position. When you try to attach it, you will find the position where it sits very neatly. And that is how you know that it should be in this position. I'm gonna put some glue around these areas. And I am going to try to make it look nice. So this is the roughly correct kind of position according to the images. And now the only thing that is missing is the shoulder blades and the head, of course. They suggest we put him on the base directly, base 11. Let's do just that. This is our base 11. Very elaborate base. This sprue is actually quite neat. Everything is on the sprue. This is our very elaborate base. You can see that part of his boot is here. And our lad is supposed to be standing like this. I am going to put some glue around this area and here. And that should be enough. Be very careful. Here we go. Very, very easy to put him in place. This is how he should look like. We have done all these parts, even the sword, and now we move to the shoulder pads and the heads. Let's go with shoulder pads. Let's start with number 8. This is shoulder pad number 8. We already know it is supposed to be sitting on this pin over here like this. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue. I'm gonna put it around the pin and around this area where the shoulder pad is presumably gonna be residing. And I am going to try to, make it work like this. Slides in place perfectly. Very, very easy. Very easy shoulder pad. Now number 10. This is number 10. And number 10, which by the way has a very nice double-headed eagle of the Imperium, is supposed to be sitting over here like this. I'm also going to put some glue on the pin over here along these lines. That should be enough, because the pin itself is supposed to fix it in place, and we are just aiding the pin with a little bit of glue. And this is our right shoulder pad. Very, very cool. Now the only thing that is missing is the head. we have two head options, the helmeted one and the bare head one. And I think I'm going to go with the helmeted one, because I really like the helmeted heads. This is our head, and it's supposed to be sitting over here in this lock. I am going to put a little bit of glue over here, and then I'm going to try to slide the head into the place. And this is our Captain Donato, fully assembled. The only thing that is left on the sprue is the bare head, this one. Captain Donato is a really cool mini, very ornate, very Terminator-ish looking, and surprisingly not a lot of Blood Angel symbology. I actually think that it does not have any of Blood Angel symbology here. You can use him for any chapter you want. This mini is fairly straightforward to assemble. I would give it 5 service skulls out of 5 for the fun of building it, and I would give it 5 out of 5 for easy to assemble part. He is wielding a power fist and a combi melta. He also has some sort of a sword looking thing, which I don't think he has rules for. Let's compare him to other minis that we have in store. First of all, let's take a look at the old Terminator. This is the old Terminator Captain from, I think, Start Collecting Space Marines or something like that. This is a very old box. You can see that the new one is roughly the same size, but actually is a bit larger. I really like the Iron Halo of the old one and Exterminator's power sword, but he is a bit shorter than the Donato. This is the new Primaris Terminator. You can see that the new Terminator, the Primaris one, is taller. It is definitely larger. So this one looks like a firstborn, but believe me, he is not. He is a bit larger than a firstborn Space Marine. We also have a Captain from Leviathan box, and this Terminator Captain looks huge compared to Captain Donato. This is partly because he is standing on a huge tactical rock. Actually, it is not even tactical rock, it is tactical tyrannid that he is standing on. But at the same time, this mini is definitely taller than the Donato. Donato is a bit shorter one. And of course, if we compare Captain Donato to the new Dark Angel Nightmaster, which is not a captain. This is technically a sergeant, I believe, of the Dark Angels. This lad is also a bit taller. All the new minis that we have seen are a bit taller than Captain Donato, but these minis have very dynamic poses. They have tactical rubble or rocks or whatever. They're not gonna look out of place on the battlefield, and they have fairly unique look compared to more generic miniatures. So if you have a huge army of Terminators, you might want to have some fancier looking ones like these ones. And I remind you that this is Space Marine Heroes Series 2. It was released in 2018. It is impossible to find it secondhand, almost impossible to find it secondhand. It costs a small fortune. But from the 14th to the 22nd of December 2024, Games Workshop is releasing a kit with all 10 options of this Space Marine Hero Series 2, effectively the whole Series 2 range, as one box for quite a reasonable amount of money. Here in Sweden, this lad would cost me 85 Swedish crowns, and this lad will cost me more than 100. New Terminators are even a bit expensive per head than these ones from Space Marine Heroes. And I think this is gonna be it for today, my friends. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And by the way, when we hit the mark of 500 subscribers, we have a very special miniature to build. I wouldn't even dare to call it a miniature, because it is not small at all. But it seems like that we got some traction recently, and I think we can get there really fast. So maybe we will build it even this year. We shall see. And of course, in order to get there, you can spread the word about the channel to your friends and relatives so they can subscribe too, and we get there together faster. And I think this is gonna be it for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have ever looted this guy from blind boxes of Space Marine Heroes. If you built him, if you fielded him, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Max is out. Take care. Bye.